do some treats soon. And then a whole lot of stones. Let's see where to start. Nope. Sorry. Okay, I'm gonna get a brush for this stuff. Where's my... There it is, right there. There we go. Alright. It's one of these guys. Just try enough. So I'm just doing the basic rough brushing. Then I'll go in the nib, clean it up a bit. Hunt 107. Okay. Where am I? It's weird that the video got flipped. I'm not left-handed.
Degrees. Degrees.
Okay, now I'm going to do the ground. Count down a little bit. There. Some grass. Alright, no more stone stuff. I like having a balance between the rough, dry brushing and the kind of hatching. Okay. Now I'm just gonna little flowery things. Huh. I forgot that there was a butterfly there. White paint. It's weird, it's backwards. It's my Kuretake white ink. Not backwards, reversed. It's so weird that's reversed. Eraser. Just clean it up there. I just need a little. I think there was a butterfly wing. There. Once I get started with the white ink, I just like enjoy it too much. Clean that up there. Anything else? Yeah, why not clean up that a little? It's a little dark up there, so I'm just gonna. Yeah. I add water to this stuff every so often, just like a few drops. Every little dropper. Like took the needle off of. Just like adding a couple of drops of water to this stuff every once in a while, then like just mixing it up really helps to just get it to a consistency where it can be like painted on instead of sort of globbed on. And it retains its opacity really well too. I'm not paid to say any of this. Tragically. Okay, so now I have like, this was a town scene that they're sort of walking through here, and they're leaving the town. And so I'm going to do all of that very background town stuff now. Yeah. stones. I want them. I want to put it down. Didn't have another layer. Appreciate you guys stopping by to watch me ink. Super exciting live stream here. It's sort of like part of what's funny about this. Doing like a large project like this to me is that not a lot of exciting happens. I don't really have too many like splash pages or I don't do any Spider-Man fan art. So not a lot to grab attention. That's all right. It's just like, come check out my live stream. I'm gonna draw some more rocks today. Yeah, rocks. So many rocks. Yeah, right. Okay. And now another tree. There are plenty of times when I was doing the pencils for this, I'm pretty sure I just like left things for myself to do when I was inking it. Like I'll just pass the buck to next year me. Like some of these buildings, man, like what was I doing? Perspective's not right. Just let him clean it up in inks. Good job yesterday, self. Okay, now video is making me feel like I'm cheating at being left-handed. Poser. Okay, now I'm just going to insinuate some brick here. Any music that I have on is from Chilled Out Raccoon. Chilled Out Raccoon or Steady Girl. It's like usually waiting to. Or SCP fan sites. Okay, so I have a bunch of like silhouette people in here now, which gets like kind of like boring to do. So I'm just gonna do it. Yeah, okay, and a few more here. Little kid. Okay, now I'm gonna just do some more brick work. It's not really even brick work. I mean, it's just like insinuating brick work. Travel it a little bit. All right. It's coming along. Again, super exciting stuff, right? What was I doing here? What were my... I think that was a chimney. I'm gonna make that a chimney. Some rocks. Crappy old chimney. Okay. Let's put some leaves on that soon. Doing this sort of feels a bit like talking to myself, but what you gonna do tonight? Ooh, I don't know. Watch a new episode of Star Trek. Cool, yeah. So they brought the drill back. Oh yeah, that's pretty cool. Oh, that's crazy. I'm talking to myself. Do some trees now. Let's put some leaves on those. A little bit. What am I gonna do to put leaves on things? Let's see. What am I gonna use to put leaves onto things today? This guy. Bring my inkwell over here. I like keeping a bunch of like janky brushes around for things like leaves. They can just sort of mess up the bristles a bit. I've had these brushes for ages. You get them in sort of like a random arrangement and then just sort of go in and Short liner. Use a short liner for the rest of this guy, I think. A couple more little guys over here. I don't like that one. Sorry, little guy. You didn't come out how I wanted. Okay, that's my white ink. It's so weird that my video's flipped. I'm going to do something about that. I'm going to do something about that. To complain to someone. It might seem obvious, but I also keep some brushes just for the white ink because I only really work with black ink and white ink occasionally, and once you get black ink into your white ink, it's never quite the same. So I just keep a bunch of a few nylon brushes around. These guys, just for my white ink. I have one round and one flat, only for the white ink. Okay, I'm gonna try a butterfly again, or mothy thing. Butterfly mothy thing. Let's see. Yeah. All right. Good. Okay. Now I'm going to what? What am I gonna do next? I need to travel that bunch of stones, that stone wall that way. But I want to make sure that this one is in nicely first. I try and I try and mess up as little as possible. But I really do try and not rely on the white ink too much, because it's just it can be also a pain to ink over it. I find that if I ink over the white ink with a steel nib, it really just tears at it. It tears at the white ink. So I'm sort of limited also what I can do in inking over the white ink. Usually I just do it with a brush, which is probably what it's meant for, to be inked over with a brush. I'm just weird. I just really like steel nibs. I mean, I started drawing in. It's such a trope. It's such like an artist trope, I think, to say that you started inking in, or you started drawing in the margins of your marble composition books in school. You're supposed to be taking notes in math class, and instead you were drawing Spider-Man in your notebooks. But that is how I started drawing. Much to the chagrin of my math teachers. And so I think that's sort of why I still gravitate towards the steel nibs, is because it still has that feeling for me of just drawing, of just like hanging out and drawing. And I really love that feeling. It's what got me through a lot of math classes. Nothing wrong with math. Math is great. I had some really great math teachers. I just was not good at math, and I just preferred drawing Spider-Man than my own characters and whatever in my marble composition books. Just, it's just more enjoyable. And so I think that's why, like, I gravitated towards working with the steel nibs rather than the brushes, was because it just has that feeling to me of like just hanging out and drawing, and I love that. I mean, I really love what you can do with a brush. I know so many comic book artists who work pretty much exclusively with brushes, and I sort of wish that I had learned to do that when I was younger, because now, like, my brain just it took me years to be able to do anything with a brush. I'm almost surprised I do so much with brushes now. I guess I do probably like 40%, sometimes 50% with brushes. But then there are just times I really just fall back to the enjoyment of working with the pen. It just reminds me of like just hanging out, drawing, just doing my thing, making lines. I enjoy making lines. Like, I like that. I like how that looks. I like how that looks right there. Just, whatever. A little wall, some bricks. Probably gonna have to put a little white paint in there to clarify a couple things. But I just enjoy it, and I like it. Oh, I'm using my what am I using right now? This is my Nico, my Japanese school nib. These things are great too. Yeah. I have a bunch of different Japanese nibs. I have a bunch of American nibs and I have a bunch of Japanese nibs. I go back and forth as to which I prefer. But more or less, it's like I stay with the Hunt 107, the Hunt 102, and the school nib. They're just... I'm a bit heavy-handed for the Hunt 102 sometimes also. Okay. Oh, hi. I'm just looking at your comments. So what size paper am I working on? Yeah, so with this project, I started on 17 by 11, which is the standard tabloid size. Most comic books are done on 17 by 11 paper. It's a bit tall for me, honestly. Like, I think my next project I'm going to work on 15 by 11. It's just like a little bit too unwieldy for me. But it is the standard, so I mean, whatever. I mean, the nice thing about doing like graphic novels instead of just comic books, I guess, is that you can work on pretty much whatever size paper that you want. It's not as restrictive as normal comic books. Did I also have to do much experimenting to find a paper that took the... Yes, I totally did. I definitely did. I work on only two types of paper. One is the Strathmore 300, which I like. It's all right. And the other one is the stuff that Blick makes. It's just Blick brand Bristol board, and I love this stuff. It's so weird to really, really like working. I feel like the quality is like really good. It's thick. It's got a bit of tooth to it, but not too much. I use vellum also. I know a lot of comic book artists work on the smooth Bristol, because it does get that really clean line that oh yeah, I mean, a lot of comic books like really go for. A lot of comic book art really goes for that smooth brushwork, which also I like. That's what I grew up reading. That super smooth, like Spider-Man brushstroke stuff that I tried to do earlier on, but just wasn't my brain. So I work on vellum Bristol, which has a bit more tooth to it. I can feel the pen scratching. I like that. Not too much. I mean, it doesn't like scratch. It's not like watercolor paper, but I can still feel it. I know there's something there. It doesn't feel like I'm inking on glass. And there's something about working on the vellum Bristol that is just so much better to me for dry brushing too. That I can really get like that sort of tooth in there. And I like that. I like that sort of raw, naturalistic feel, whatever, to some of this stuff, and sort of looking like it's ink on a page. Like, I like that. I like the fact that I'm using ink. I don't want it to look like I'm doing digital work. I'm not. There are people who do amazing digital work. I sometimes really wish I could. I wish I could digitally ink sometimes, just because it would be like maybe a lot faster. I don't know, but I mean, there's so much gorgeous art out there right now with digital inking, and but it's not me. I like the rawness to this, and so yeah, the vellum Bristol is what I go for, and again, yeah, Blick brand, sure. It's good stuff. Strathmore is good too, though. What's the other brand? Can't remember. But it's kind of funny that I really just like this like generic Blick brand paper. but it's actually good paper. It's funny that it's like, I feel like it's better than Strathmore. It's not cheaper either. It's probably a little more expensive than Strathmore. But yeah, I've worked a lot in Strathmore 300. But it definitely took me a while to find what I was looking for. Thank you very much, man. It took me a long time to find what I was looking for, and it took me a long time again to realize that I don't have to work on the super slick paper. That just because everyone else does it doesn't mean I had to do it. Just because it's like the industry standard, which is, sure, it's industry standard, but and there are times that things are industry standard for a reason. But it took me a while to like be okay with that. Be okay with saying, you know what, I don't have these super slick inks. That's okay. Some people will like what I do. Other people will not like what I do, and that's fine. That's okay. I'm not a huge fan of like, I mean, don't even get me started on Garfield. But I'm not a huge fan of like, I appreciate it. I really appreciate it, but I appreciate the Peanuts, Snoopy and Charlie Brown. I'm not like a huge fan of the Peanuts. Like, I don't know. Snoopy is just kind of weird. But one thing I really, really appreciate about Charles Schulz is that he developed this hand tremor, and he just incorporated that into his art, sort of. Like when you see like the Peanuts, it's got Snoopy and Charlie Brown. They all have like this sort of little shakiness to their to the line work, and that was just because he had this hand tremor that developed, and he just sort of went with it, and it's become a part of that iconic Peanuts, Charlie Brown, Snoopy look. That sort of slightly shaky line work, and I just really appreciate how Schulz, and I mean Peanuts, man, it's like this freaking multi-million-dollar empire. But it's like, the guy who did it, he had a shaky hand, and he went with it. He didn't let it stop him from creating. And I appreciate that. I appreciate the human element in Snoopy, in the artwork for Snoopy, that it wouldn't be there with the digital inking, and I appreciate that. Maybe it makes me sound like old something, but I don't know. I appreciate your comments very much. Thank you. Yeah, more or less. Yeah, it's not always predictable either, which is also another interesting part of inking with a brush. I guess the way I do, it's not always predictable. Like this tree here. Like, okay, all right, that's fine. Yeah, sure. Go with it, man. Go with this tree. Okay, I'm gonna put some branches in now. I think I just inked over some white ink. Yeah, and I really don't want. I'm really like I'm not like some kind of oh, the kids these days with their digital comic books and digitally inked blah blah blah. Like I'm not. I'm really not. I think some of it looks gorgeous and um yeah, sure. I'm definitely not. It's not like a sour grapes thing for me where it's like okay, I'm too old to relearn how to digital ink probably. I don't know. Also, I don't have the money for a Wacom tablet. um, but yeah, I do sometimes feel that it looks kind of lifeless, and I don't know. It's just not me. It's just not my. It's not my. It's not my thing. Um, I'd rather my stuff have a rawness to it. Um, life is raw. Life is shifting and uh, imperfect. Life is imperfect, and I feel like I need to be okay with that. I mean, I'm not trying to do photorealism. Blah 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 blah. I'm not trying to do photorealism here. Um, I'm not. It's just not me. Every once in a while, I do have a page or two where it's a bit more realistic than other pages, or a bit more careful or something like that. Just so it's sort of like part of it is you can just be like, yeah, I know how to do it. I could do it if I wanted to. I just don't want to do it, which is really dumb. I mean, and usually it just fits the style of the page to do something a lot more realistic, or whatever. But yeah, I don't really want to do that. There's also a part of like why I don't work in color. Like I there's so many people who do such amazing work in color. I'm not great at color. I'm not sure if this will ever be colored or not. I don't know. I envision it as a black and white work. Um, but yeah, I sort of I'm like what? Other people are really good at color. I want to explore ink. I only have one life. I like doing color um, when I paint, but for this stuff, I just really want to explore ink. What can be done with ink? There's also this really like sort of I don't know if it's a dying art form. I'm not sure. Um, but yeah, like this is a YouTube channel of some guy sitting at his desk with these tools from like 2 centuries ago, just very slowly pecking away at a piece of paper. There's nothing flashy about this. There's nothing like there's no even like any tutorials that I could do. Like tutorials are big, like I mean I watch digital tutorials for fun, and like some guy does this thing that he condenses into like 20 minutes and it's I don't know 18 20 hours of work and this looks so cool, the Photoshop brushes and everything, and um, yeah, I think that stuff is incredible, and it's also really fun to watch, and this is sort of the opposite of that. I have not heard of that, actually. I'm going to write that down. Okay. I wrote that down. I'm going to check that out later. Thank you. I wish I was more in the know about this stuff. What's the last good black and white comic I read? I think I went back and Fantagraphics. Fantagraphics is so great. They're like, I mean, it's so funny to like have like a company, like a dream company, like, oh, who would you want to be published by? Like, oh my god, Fantagraphics. Like, I freaking love Fantagraphics. Their stuff is just so damn good. Yeah. Yeah, Fantagraphics. They put out such good shit. I should not curse on my channel. I do not have to worry about being demonetized now. I have no money. Cool, I'm going to check that out. Thank you very much. Yeah. Yeah, Fantagraphics is great. Are they the ones that put out Jimmy Corrigan? Or is that Top Shelf? No, I think it's Fantagraphics. Not put out Jimmy Corrigan, published Jimmy Corrigan. Yeah, it's just so great knowing that such great stuff is being created, still being created and put out. And there are companies that are really have just dedicated themselves to putting out this work. All right, let me see. What am I gonna do up here? I need to refer back to previously. That's a bunch of pages ago. But I want to put the steeple over here. So I just want to make sure that it looks somewhat similar. Pin. That's not too difficult, is it? I'm gonna put it over here. I'm just gonna freehand it. Yeah, okay. Let's go. So make sure the window looks right. Okay, and And that. Done. Alright. Now I'll just do the brickwork. Okay, and now alright. And I'm gonna put a mountain. And I'm just gonna do some sky. Alright. Alright, I'm going to do this a tiny bit more here. Yeah, one more little. Flying thing there. Gotta leave room for text. Alright. I'm going to go cook dinner. Finish that page. Finish that bottom panel. Not bad. Not bad. Yeah, no worry with that. I'm good with that. Thank you very much for stopping by, keeping me company. Oh my god, it's been like an hour. Yeah, thanks for keeping me company while I did this. It's nice to have someone to talk to. And thanks for the recommendation, book recommendation. Yeah, be well, and I'm gonna try and do this more often. All right, have a good evening.